Welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, where we're playing through Pádraic's chapter. We're ending night 3 to move on to night number 4. December 2024. 4 nights till New Year. We're in Manhattan. Kali is always late, as I have learned over the past 3 nights. Late for her, late for us, late for always, everywhere, nothing. Still, guided by an old habit of anxiety and politeness, I leave my haven early to wait for her by my car mere minutes after sunrise. I don't mind a few minutes of lost time. Both my thoughts and voices in my head will fill them quite nicely, whether I want to or not. Which is why I'm surprised to hear Kali's voice after a mere 5 minutes of waiting. Hey, what's a kindred like you doing in a place like this? This again. She looks tired somehow. More so than usual, like her whole upbeat personality was only a mask covering a deeper tragedy. So I give her a smile for her troubles, but decide not to pry. I think she's more of a deadpan kind of humor person, maybe. She doesn't like actual funny, and I'm also not capable of actual funny. I live around here, and currently I'm waiting for you. She jokingly fans herself with her hand. Wow, it's getting hot in here, or maybe it's just the topic. How about we switch gears and head straight to Hope? Let's do just that. Hope is rather busy these nights, so the sooner we approach her, the better. I swing open the passenger door with a flourish. Get in, please. She chuckles delightedly. Playing gallant tonight, are we? I roll my eyes and she slides into the seat, and within moments we're speeding off, chasing after a glimpse of hope for better days. The streets are a little bit busy tonight. I concentrate on driving, the very action leaving my head hilariously empty but unfocused. Kylie's being very quiet, suspiciously so. I'm observing her out of the corner of my eye, but don't notice much distress aside from the usual restlessness she displays at any point in time. She looks almost relaxed. Sleepy, if that was something we could actually feel. I catch myself missing her mindless chatter. The meeting I've arranged with Hope, it's going to be rather clandestine in nature. Oh yeah? Yes. All I have managed to establish is that someone at the double spiral will hand us further instructions. Further instructions? What the hell is that supposed to mean? I assume it's one of Hope's little games that she loves to play. But to be honest, pinning down her thoughts or predicting her next move is ever a shot in the dark. She hums in confusion but remains silent. I can almost see the cogs of thought spinning relentlessly in her head. She looks worried, and frankly, she should be. Tonight is the last night, oh so graciously granted to her by the wonderful sheriff, to find Reynard Cassell and deliver his head to Elysium on a silver platter. And we're waiting. We still have no clue where he might be hiding, whereas our leads are slowly but surely drying up. Well, her leads. But I can't have my conscience acting up right now. Hopefully, we'll find something to ease her worries at the double spiral. Hope's assistant, Nastya, as always silent, bored and decked out in extravagant clothing, leads us through a long dark room lined with massive, servers covered in colorful blinking lights displaying in the distance. Among the oppressive silence, I watch Kali's head swirling around as she looks with great interest at Nastya's getup, the servers, me, the random person sitting in the distance. The room's monotony is broken up by the sharp clinging of a mechanical keyboard. At the far end of the space, a figure is slumped over a desk, decked in a faded maroon hoodie with oversized noise-cancelling headphones clamped over the ears. I can spot Hope a mile away when I see her, but I decide against warning Kali. Hope deserves her little game unspoiled, and Kali deserves to be taken down a notch by an innocent little surprise. Nastya snaps her fingers to get our attention. Apparently Hope's extremely busy these days, but she'll spare us 5 minutes in the cloud, or whatever that means. She gestures towards a sleek, state-of-the-art device resting on a nearby table. That's new. I shoot Kali a puzzled look, and she tamps down with a laugh. I shrug and move to pick up the thing, but Nastya bats my hand away sternly and points at Kali, her boots echoing on the floor as she exits the room. It's all part of the game, I assume. I meet Kali's eyes and bow deeply, gesturing with a theatrical flourish towards the device. Settle in, then. Cool, just so you know. Make sure I don't get digitally abducted or something, okay? I smirk. I know she's joking, but one never knows with our kind. Malkavian, or kindred in general. She slips on the headset and immediately tenses with anticipation. Kali! Kaliuga, what brings you here to steal my precious time? I glance at the maroon-clad person in the corner and see Hope standing up and strolling leisurely forward, the very same device Kali is wearing, peeking out from under her hood. Kali starts spinning around as if she was looking for someone. I grin, amused, knowing she can't see me. Hope really does know how to play, even though her games are best enjoyed as a spectator, not a participant. You can't steal what's willingly offered. Her voice is tight, tense, barely concealed anxiety speaking through. Hope moves with inhumane speed in the blink of an eye, materializing behind Kali with a soft chuckle, trailing pale fingers down her spine. Yours truly, she ignores completely. I am... Oh, I know exactly who you are. I know everything about you, Kaliuga, Kaylee, California Loventhal. Really? California. I smother a laugh. No wonder she's so adamant about going by Kali. The name's Kali in this unlife. California is dead. We're all dead, Kali. But even though I can and want to tuck in at that name for later to make just so much fun of her, I accept her decision to leave that person behind and her resolve. And the secrets that she keeps, that much I owe her. But you weren't Kali long before, weren't you? Just a frightened little hippie daughter, cavorting through the dark web hidden behind a name that made you feel cool? Kali Yuga, the war and conflict on legs. Do you think you lift up that ominous alias, California? Have you caused enough ruin? Reckoning havoc just with a careless click? A kindred spirit. Oh, it must have felt good, having all this power over living things and inanimate objects, deciding their fate with cold, calculating keystrokes. I know all your little dirty secrets, even those you left back at the music festival where California perished and Kali emerged from the flames of a dying phoenix. Even those trailing behind you like sins in your endless repentance. Hope's words are scratching, grating, but true, that much I can tell. Kali's past sins are of no interest to me, nor of importance, but they do make me sad and understanding. As they slice and break through the walls of her personality, I can't help but notice the Kali on the inside. The small one, the lonely one, the fragile one, the one who was used, neglected and hurt her whole life and beyond. And the one who bristles and instead of yielding or running away, attacks. Doxing much, I see. What about your precious time, huh? How about you cut the crap and drop some actual wisdom? Just spit out where Reynard is and I'll disappear. What's up? Mic break? A dire packet loss? Oracle, my ass. I can see her square her shoulders, spitting insults like a feisty kitten, while Hope smiles under the hood and takes off the device, shaking her hair back in artful order. She taps Carly gently on the shoulder, who flinches and spins around, hand raised and ready to fight. You can take the headset now, Carly. Can take it off. So she does, glaring fiercely at Hope, her phone, bored expression, and the faded maroon hoodie thrown over her shoulder. One look towards the new deserted desk and storm starts brewing on her face. Really? Going all jigsaw on me like that? Seriously, I'm pissed. Hope doesn't even graze over the glance. I'm clued in on stuff like death and scrambled eggs, but my knowledge of Ray Kissel? No, not so current since he flipped this shit. No clue where he is at or what he's up to. Yeah, tell me about it. Look, I'm just trying to piece together why he shot up to the top of the circulatory system's hit list. I mean, he's crazy, sure, but this is some serious shit. Oh, it's bigger than you think. But your little trip down that rabbit hole might just work out for us both, as long as you snag some juicy intel from their database. With a flick of her wrist and still not looking up, she throws a small dongle at Carly. Make your way to the circulatory system's core. Plug this sucker in. It'll slurp up the data without even faint digital whisper. Basically untraceable, even to me. Which is bonkers now that I think about it. Precious time, remember? Get it back to me, and I'll dive into the goods. And hey, if there's anything juicy on Ray, I'll throw you a big, meaty bone. You mean you let me in on the Reynard files? Potato, tomato. So, we've got the scoop on snagging the data. What's the game plan for getting in? You're on your own there, sweetheart. B and E are not quite my letters. Still glued to her phone, she turns on her heels and nods in my direction. Pádraic? I see. The jig is up. Hope, a pleasure, as always. Quiet. Pleasure, pain, of what you know, of what you never gained. The moment Hope vanishes behind the door, Carly arches her back and hisses at me like a cat in full battle mode. You knew it! It was her the whole time and you fucking knew it! I just shrug, completely unfazed by her meltdown, but I manage not to smile, lest that exacerbates the breach of trust. Let's dismiss it. I mean, that's just a joke. She likes her little mind games. As Romans do, you know. Besides, we got what we came for, didn't we? Sure. But what about my dignity? To that, I have to smile. What about it? Oh, piss off. She swats at me playfully as we leave the server room, ready for the next step of our caper. Carly's mood shifts dramatically as soon as we buckle up in my car and take off towards the goal. She falls silent, staring quietly out the window, still as if not calm, but numb. She doesn't mention her name, the sins of her past, or anything Hope decided to discuss with her. Perhaps she doesn't realize I heard it all. She deserves her privacy, and so although I am burning with curiosity, I don't pry. But I can't show concern either way. Is everything okay? Yeah. It's just that I might not know Reynard as well as I thought I did. The circulatory system, the antediluvian, some enigmatic, powerful backer. I'm not even sure who he is anymore, and it's not like I can just ask him right now. I won't tell her that it might be for the best. She most probably would not like the answer. That's true. I myself am not sure if I'd like to know the real him. Where are you? But I understand why you're unsettled. Guess the ticking clock isn't making things any easier, huh? It fucking doesn't, but cheers for the reminder. My apologies. I wasn't trying to add to your stress. Yeah. I get it, but hey, she playfully smacks my shoulder, forcing a smile through the strain. At least you won't be stuck with me much longer, right? That makes irritation bubble in my chest, even though I know it's merely a lame attempt at dissolving the tension. You know, I take no joy in the thought of hauling you before the Primogene Council, should we fail to capture Reynard. Glare at her, drive the point through, but she swiftly turns her head away and looks out the window. Well, I do now. The lifeline. Hope. Although I would rather not spend any more time with Hope than absolutely necessary, I believe that her technological expertise might be the key to accessing the circulatory system's database. That text doesn't seem like to match the actual quest, but fine. We'll go to the circulatory systems labs. I guess the text is just another bug in this game. Carly and I spent a solid 5 minutes just gazing up at the building we were about to infiltrate, our necks craned, completely silent. Although I have lived a short life and trodden the unlife for much, much longer, I have never actually resorted to burglary. It's always rather exciting to find something new and novel after over a century of being fettered on this earth. That's one massive fucking building, if I've ever seen one. Indeed, it might complicate our plan, as vague as that is. It's probably packed with high-tech security and the usual batch of guards lurking around every corner. Yet there are also plenty of empty spots we could use to lay low. Look at you, picking up the tricks of the trade. Let's not just sit around. Time is running out. The interior of the circulatory systems branch is artfully incognito, masquerading as a budget-friendly medical clinic. It's a perfect cover, under the radar from the noisy bourgeoisie, cops, and the feds, while justifying the constant stream of various folks at all hours, even at ungodly times. Like right now, for instance. And here we are, ready to dive into the fray. How do you propose? Maybe you could stir up a little chaos. Distract them from me? That could work. Shall we? She gives me a nod, so I still close my eyes and tap into the long forgotten past of myself, the one which sang and danced and performed under glaring lights for the entertainment of sparse crowd, before both war and my embrace destroyed and erased the splinter of my soul until only horrors remained. I morph into a figure of pure outrage and despair, shoulders hunched, head down, jaw clenched. I concentrate on exuding the image of a man, fueled by fury, ready to explode. I march over to the reception desk while Carly tucks herself into my shadow, practically invisibly. Before the bewildered receptionist can get any word out, I lean in menacingly and begin my tirade, my voice booming with a rough Midwestern twang. I need the manager now. My mother died in this goddamn place because of your negligence. I'm not particularly used to imitating accents, but I seem to be doing a good job. The receptionist pales and starts opening and closing her mouth like a fish gasping for air. Hand over her files, or I'm blasting your incompetence across every news platform there is. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Carly clearly holding back laughter, and I shoo her off with a sharp but discreet gesture. With all the eyes in the foyer glued to me, Carly slips away from this storm and glides through the back door, unseen. I have no idea how much time she needs, but I do hope she'll manage relatively quickly. There's only so many invectives that I can shout at the receptionist before I start going in circles. You absolute motherfuckers! You want to bleed me dry, too? On the other hand, refusing to be placated is very much a local thing, as I have observed these past years, so perhaps just screaming for a quarter of an hour isn't such a bad idea. Yes! Fuck them up, lad. This is your chance. Vent, scream, howl. For once, I guess I'm going to listen to them. I will sue your sorry asses and stuff them the papers where the sun don't shine. Time passes and I find myself disassociating. One part of me stays in my body, feet firmly planted on the ground, screaming my lungs out at the receptionist, the manager, 2 more employees, desperately trying to calm me down. The guests, the security guards, everybody. The other one floats above the filth of material world, unbothered by it and untethered, much like a little balloon, barely held in the hand of a small child at church fair. I ain't want to hear no excuses. My poor mama. Minutes slowly tickle by. I'm still going off on the poor employee when I catch Carly slipping back into the foyer. She nods at me curtly before sipping towards the exit. And you know what? Take your fancy talk and shove it where the sun don't shine. Fuck you and see you in court. I make a show of storming off, actually beating Carly to the door. Once we clear at the boring beige foyer, we bolt to the car and hop in within seconds. No telling if they caught on someone snagging their precious data scot-free, but the circulatory system doesn't come tearing after us as we peel out of there. I'm still expecting a pursuit. Ventru are not exactly known for their lenience and charity, so I make sure to weave swiftly through the streets, mindful of my surroundings. Carly's clearly delighted by this turn of events. Whoa! Let's fucking go! I can't say I'm not tempted, but in the end, it's better if we don't attract too much attention, kindred or mortal. I ease off the accelerator, blending into traffic as we head back towards Manhattan, much to Carly's visible disappointment. Believe in her. Let's encourage her. Don't worry, I'm sure there will be plenty more opportunity for high-octane escapes. I'm guessing your part of this escaper went smooth. Smooth as silk. Ran in the lap rat and rent-a-cop downstairs, but nothing I couldn't handle. Quite an adventure night, huh? I see. She tosses her head back and laughs as I smile, content with her happiness. You couldn't say that, and you? And enjoyed going berserk on those corporate drones? I just shrug. I have little sympathy for venture ghouls. As far as I'm concerned, they signed up for this job and all its perks. They don't deserve it, but you do, you do, you do. Ice cold, man. Impressive too. Stick around me a little longer and I'll just make a con artist out of you just yet. Who's to say I'm not one already? She bursts into laughter again, and we continue our journey in much better moods than before. And we're hoping that hope has something to give us information. In the world of maybes, let us hope that hope gleans something useful from the data we provided, and that she won't have us waste time with another little game of hers. This time as we enter the server room in the basement of Double Spiral, escorted once again by Nastya, the one who greets us is hope. The one who greets us is hope in the flesh, not the virtual void. She doesn't spare us a glance, though her eyes still glued onto her smartphone as she impatiently extends her hand, gesturing for me to hurry up. Carly gives her a high five first, but when Hope shoots her a pleased look, she obediently hands over the dongle. Hope plugs it into a laptop, and suddenly all the nearby screens spring to life, displaying a plethora of text, photos, videos, and voice recordings. Hope starts blitzing through the data silently. scanning multiple pages at once, too fast for anybody to keep up. One might think that it's a special Malkavian ability, but truthfully, Hope simply is an unparalleled technology savant. She seems to finish in mere minutes, stretching in her chair before immediately diving back into her smartphone. Thanks. There's a goldmine of info in the database for someone like me. Yeah, totally. And about Reynard? She stops typing for a chilling moment, but her fingers start dancing on the keyboard again soon after. The mess he got himself wrapped up, well, it's way deeper than I thought. She points offhandedly at one of the screens, a scan of a report from the FBI Special Affairs Division. The file, apparently intercepted by an unnamed circulatory system associate, is a veritable treasure trove of photos, videos, and more. Reynard Cassell's face pops up here and there. This sin list over here, he's up to his neck in shit, peddling rare blood, mortal trafficking, well, that's a given. Corroborating with the SAD, yeah sure. Diablerie. Hope's voice drops, her brown knitting together in a deep frown. That's bullshit. Of course it is. Despite the storm brewing her data, her demeanor remains eerily serene. She's, as always, the most relaxed person in the room, a stark contrast to Kali, who tenses up more and more with every passing minute. She even avoids my eyes, as if afraid of what I might read from them. I am in no place to judge anybody, but she doesn't know that. Can't know that. Okay, though this whole spiel is what literally catapulted your sire to the #1 spot on the circulatory system's hot list. Is there anything else worth mentioning? Yep, arms straight. Interesting. We finally arrived at the core of the matter. We might achieve 2 goals at once, uncovering to whom Cassell is supplying weapons and clearing Kali's name with the Council. I do not like it, but I must resort to feigning ignorance. And is that an issue? Nope. At least until you take a peek at whom he's trading with. But I mean, there's no way you could pull off like a weapons deal with a high-profile mortal. He's just too small for that, I think. And who might this mortal be? Hope grimaces with discontent. Nose still stuck to her smartphone. She flicks her wrist and somehow the report scrolls a couple of pages down. Didn't say, and the rest of the note is all redacted. Must be someone major. Seriously, I'm dying to know who it is. Damn it. Every time you get closer, the path veers off course. Oh, and speaking of big names, this bit says Ray's been involved with the Hudson Vampiress, Vitra. BTY. She's also way up on the circulatory system's hit list. Could be a random thing, or maybe not. Vitae freezes in my veins. He tickled the sleeping dragon lad, just the way you should have. But like they barely have any deeds on her, figures. She's very sneaky. Bollocks. I can't have Hope exposing Vitra in front of Kali. Not when I'm so close to. Yeah, Vitra's a tough cookie to crumble. I shoot her a warning look, to which she responds with a blank stare. You're playing with fire, Kali. Oh? Did Ray spill some tea about her? Spill some more over here? Color me super curious. No, spill tea. Need to hear the talk around the city. Everybody and their sires shitting their pants about her. True, and they're right, though no one's really got anything solid on her, not even me. Just that she's definitely mixed up in some nasty shit. So the word is she might be linked with the Black Hand. But honestly, if there was any proof, I'd be totally found it by now. The Black Hand, impossible. Black and charred, teared, black, all black, all black. I'd give my ring a few spins to calm down. It's mere speculation. I'd have known if she was involved with the Black Hand. You mean the Sabat? Aren't they extinct on the East Coast? I make sure my voice is steady when I speak. They were driven out of New York City 2 decades ago. It does not mean they're extinct. How do you always know just so much, Patty? Seriously, my offer is still on the table. I could really use someone with your neck for sniffing out the hush-hush. I'm afraid I don't have enough time in the night for all the jobs I'm currently doing. Taking on another one is simply impossible. Shame. But as I said, I don't think she's with the spat. It just doesn't vibe with her usual, let's call it, modus operandi. Care to elaborate on that? She sighs deeply, as if the question brought her no small amount of trouble, but does start talking almost immediately. I had a smile. Hope can never resist an opportunity to flaunt her wit. Like, literally, a year and a half ago, Vitra just popped up in New York overnight, took over the whole Hudson River and half of Staten Island as her domain, and then just went AWOL. What do you mean? I thought she's been keeping the city in check the whole time. Yeah, she has, but honestly, she's been laying pretty low for Kindred. I mean, anybody who tries to talk to her ends up dead, and she totally shuts down everybody trying to muscle their way into her turf. So, there's that. I will say, though, if Casals really is teamed up with her and still has his head on straight, damn, that's no small thing. The tower probably wants him just for managing to pull that off. But let's be real. Whatever dramas they're steering up, it's definitely not part of his plan. Bollocks. I haven't thought about it that way. He'll be like a caged bird, singing his heart out. Calm down, Pádraic. Even if he is caught, which, judging by Vitra's plans, is rather unlikely, he has no idea about my involvement in the matters of the Hudson. I am safe. You hope. No one gets what Vitra's playing at, and that's why everybody's so on edge. Stability is the key here in NYC, and she's anything but that. From what I've seen, she's pretty much the typical Kindred. Push and pull in big cities. Seems to me like she's just another side of the same coin here. But with one non-negotiable rule. I nod and butt in, voice firm and cold. Yes, don't fuck with Vitra. Hope shrugs, but says nothing more. Eyes firmly stuck on her smartphone. So a few bits on Reynard. Next to nothing about Vitra. Seems like you didn't really find anything interesting in that file. Hope just laughs, completely blowing Kali off, while I roll my eyes in exasperation. Careful there. Hope will eat you alive, little raven. I bet any other info dealer would know what the tea is worth billing. Hope looks her dead in the eye, eyebrows shooting up her hairline, incredulous smirk spreading across her face. Are you trying to get a rise out of me? That's adorable. Patty, tell her she's adorable. I've known her longer than you, Hope. She's a menace. That's what she is. Fine. Have the stick up your ass. Just because you're super cute, I'll throw in another tidbit for you. This report's kind of making some guesses about Edison Payne. Edison Payne? Wait, isn't it this old fart in a wheelchair from the Camarilla? Sure is. So, what guesses are we talking about? These bits aren't from the SID report, but straight from the circulatory system, based on whatever stuff they dug up in the file. Like, there is some buzz about Edison Payne and where he really stands, especially since he supposedly bought spiked blood from your sire. Payne? Buying from Reynard? Why would he do that? A wealthy venture like him would have no need to stooping so low. They kinda thought the same at first, but then like a month ago, some of the bigger shots started pushing to cut off his access to the circulatory system's asset until they figured things out. Maybe they just used the money opportunity for a power grab. Maybe not.
What's that supposed to mean?
Hope shrugs, tucking her hair back behind her ears. There's always been something iffy about Payne, especially since you could never be sure if his lackey is a trustworthy proxy. The way her eyes flicker to mine when she says that. What do you know, Hope? She knows, past, present, and future. What's that supposed to mean? But Hope goes back to ignoring us, fully absorbed in whatever she's doing on her phone. That's everything I've got for you. The rest is just goodies from me. Trust. Right, sure. Is there any chance for a copy of that report? Hope freezes, eyes bulging like she just saw a ghost, and then she starts cracking up, fingers flying over her phone even faster. Good luck with your endeavors. You're going to need it. And much more than that. Were we still mortal after all the revelations of tonight, Carly and I would probably find ourselves at a bar, drinking our sorrows away, and unraveling the tangled skein of our findings. Since we can't stomach alcohol, we just wander around in silence for a while until we settle on a tiny little bench hidden beneath a naked winter tree. There, well, I'd like to say that we talk, but mostly just listen. It seems like the dam of the river of Carly's frustration has just burst apart, water flowing freely to drown my ears in complaints. I do not mind, she needs this, the way I need my ring to quiet the raging thoughts of my head. Raging, scathing, scourging, furious. Shut up. The sheer number of times Reynard pops up in the SAD files is pretty fucking concerning. Not only because of the actual shit he's pulled, but also cause he's so damn sloppy about it. They have so much stuff on him. Stuff that could have easily been avoided if he just, don't know, put a bit more of thought into his actions and kept me in the loop, maybe. Like, it's no coincidence that there's nothing specific about me in that file, you know? I clean up after myself thoroughly, I think. Regular people wouldn't find shit. And Reynard left so much fucking trail behind him. I'm surprised he's not in some kindred Guantanamo by now. They could have bagged him without breaking a sweat. I hum, skeptically, leaning forward to examine my ring, spinning it slowly for comfort. And yet, they haven't. Perhaps that speaks volumes about your sire's ability to dodge bullets, even deep in hostile trenches. She snorts inelegantly. Yeah, I guess. He's ravenous after all. She falls silent. Grievances outpoured. I could let this conversation end right here, right now, but any idea why Reynard might be dealing in arms with a mortal? She sighs deeply and shakes her head. Honestly, Pádraic, I feel like I don't know shit anymore. I mean, Reynard was never particularly precious towards mortals, so I thought maybe we'd end up wrangling some eventually, but now I just don't know. Plus, arms dealing, that's so I don't know, that's not our style, you know. We're ravenous, we're tricksters, con artists, not warlords. I can't recall dealing with a single mortal since my embrace almost 2 years ago. If Reynard was peddling something, I'd expect it to be fake shit, decoys, or whatever. But guns? It just doesn't make any sense. I cough a little to prepare myself for speaking out of turn. I hate to be the bearer of harsh truth, but I get the feeling that you never truly knew your sire. She collects a handful of gravel from the ground and tosses it, bit by bit, into a puddle of melting snow. I don't know. Can anybody say they really know someone? Hell, do we even know ourselves? I can't help but smile at her. What are we, if not the secrets we keep, right? She grins at me in return. Who came up with that nugget? I need to shake her hand or something. You know, I think You shouldn't be blaming yourself for his dishonesty. It's quite literally not your fault. Nobody can go through this ordeal expecting to be crossed at every given moment, especially by those we trust the most. That would be a pretty miserable existence, don't you think? I'm not equipped to unpack all that right now, I'm sorry. Besides, I have no cash on me for that therapy session you're pushing for, Dr. Conroy. Deflection. Classic Carly strikes again. At least this time she's admitted it. You know, thinking about it, we've been hunting down my sire for 4 nights and I realize I know jack shit about yours. Care to share a bit? In the spirit of this painfully awkward moment? Tell her, little Patty. I don't. The way you were dug, defiled, devoured, discarded. You are safe, Fionn. I have nothing to hide about my provinces anymore. Not in front of Kali, at least. Frankly, I can't tell you much about them because I don't know myself. What do you mean? I simply don't know who embraced me. Pain, agony, suffering, torture, torment. Yes, all that and more. Hunger. I spin my ring until it rings 20, and I clear my throat to calm myself down. It's a faint memory now, but I remember almost dying towards the end of World War II. Somewhere along the Western Front, I think. And then I remember crawling out of a pile of corpses the next night. That is all. I assume I was embraced by a fellow soldier, but there's no real way to confirm. Pádraic, I'm sorry. She pats me awkwardly on the shoulder, and I nod, eyes firmly stuck to my ring. Fetter, chain, manacle. My lifeline. I have come to terms with it, but I appreciate the sentiment. We sit in silence a bit longer. There aren't many people around, but the city still feels alive, bustling, even at 3 a.m. in late December. Kali seems to be uncomfortable with the silence I'm enjoying, judging by the way her hands twitch and legs bounce. Finally, she speaks. So, what I can't wrap my head around is why someone like Payne, Big Shot Ventru, would go to such length to avoid buying blood through the company he partially owns. Is he, trying to back out, tank their stock on purpose or what? Or maybe he's plotting to start his own gig? Hard to see how with all the Ventru red tape, but maybe. Could he be setting up Reynard as his go-to supplier? Is that stretching it too much? Indeed, that does seem like a stretch. It's an audacious, almost disrespectful move. Not really Payne way of doing things, especially when he's trying to usurp Penhart. But why else would he do that? The file did say he was buying spiked blood from Reynard. That's oddly specific. Maybe that particular type wasn't available through the circulatory system. I mean, all blood bags are spiked. That's the only way they stay edible. One of the reasons why the resident Duskborn alchemist had so much shit to do with all the time in our gang. I hum, thoughtfully, slowly spinning my ring. Well, I'm stumped. But honestly, we can find a way to use that information to our advantage when we face the council. You mean exposing Payne as a fraud right in front of everyone? Damn, Conroy. That's some serious badassery for you. It would be badassery if we had any evidence of these suspicions, which we unfortunately do not. She deflates a little, clicking her tongue. Yeah, I guess that's an obstacle. And how does Vitra fit in all of this? The ever-elusive mistress of the Hudson River? Think we could dangle her as bait before the council? Oh, for the love of... I thought we won't be coming back to this topic. Can't run away from the dragon, lad. Nobody can. Nobody. Silence. Tell the war all about the strategy, lad. Lead them. Marry them. Silence. Join them. 20. At last. I'm grasping at straws, I know, but everyone's freaked out by her. I'm not saying Reynard usually shies away from the tough cases, but there's so many easier targets to scam. It's also fucked up. I don't get any of it. Let's deflect. I finally get my voice back. But why? But what isn't fucked up, right? I don't get it either. For once, she seems to grasp that I don't want to talk about it and leave the topic be, which unfortunately means that I have to be the one to bring up the tiger in the room. Tonight marks the last night in the grace period Kadir gave you. All our leads have dried up. It is unlikely we would find anything else of use anyway. I think we have enough circumstantial evidence to clear your name in the eyes of the council. We could trade it for your freedom. You mean for a longer leash? They won't clear me unless I hand over Reynard, and we both know it. Sure, we have some solid clues, but they are just that. The way the Camarilla treated me, well, I'm not exactly optimistic about returning empty-handed. Best case scenario, they order me to stay in the city and give me another impossible task. Worst case scenario, Kadir takes my head clean off my shoulders. And I don't even know where that leaves you. Technically, you were just supposed to keep an eye on me, but... She gestures vaguely. I sigh, defeated. Knowing the council, it leaves me deep in the pile of despair, I guess. I squint at the starry sky. I miss seeing the eternal lights. Perhaps I should leave the city and find a place in peace and quiet elsewhere. Not quite yet, though. Not until Vitra holds her end of the bargain. There's still time until sunrise, but I doubt we'll manage to find anyone at Elysium tonight. I look at her carefully, not bothering to conceal doubt and pity in my eyes. Do you have a safe place to stay the day? You're welcome at my haven if you need it. The couch should still be there, I believe. She cracks a faint smile. Should still be there, huh? Good thing you didn't get into sales, 'cause you wouldn't sell shit. I have some options, I guess. I've only used a couple of our safe houses around New York so far. I don't know. Can I catch up with you later or something? I need some time to think on my own. She think, thought, thunk, thinkin', thinned, trashed, tarnished. She will be fine, and I will be waiting. I stop spinning my ring and nod curtly. Take your time. I'll wait for you until dawn. She chuckles, disbelievingly, unable to keep just a little bit of bitterness creeping into her voice. What if I skip town or something, taking advantage of your misguided generosity? I don't think you will. You haven't thus far, have you? I stand up and look down at her intently. I still believe we can turn this Titanic around before it crashes into the iceberg. We just need to get a hold of the steering wheel. I give her shoulder a reassuring pat and stride off into the night, leaving her to her ruminations. And we will continue from here next episode. Thank you for watching. See you then.